Hi, Miles. How are you doing? I hope you're having a great day. My name is Beverly of Miles and Coffee, having a coffee talk. This is a public service announcement. I am interrupting my regularly scheduled video that I had planned for today to give you an update and to answer the question in the video. The short answer is yes. Mexico is now cracking down. There used to be the INM, or the immigration office, the immigration officials used to be lax. And the tourist visa used to be almost 180 days without question. They would always ask you, why are you visiting? Are you a tourist or whatever? Then they would issue the 180 days almost religiously. That has now changed. And the reason I wanted to upload this as soon as possible is because a lot of you are planning your visits to Mexico. You're planning to explore the region, which you still should. And some of you might be in the process of entertaining the thought of moving here. These are things you should know. Number one, make sure your documentation of your status, whether you are a tourist or a resident or a temporary resident, such as myself, make sure your documents are on your person at all times. I used to carry a color copy of my passport and documents, hoping that, I wouldn't lose my originals. That is no longer the case. Because now that the immigration agency is actively checking for documentation and status of immigrants, the police, the National Guard, any immigration official, any official in Mexico, period, has been authorized, I should say, to check your status. What does that mean? They might ask you, do you have your passport? Are you visiting? Do you have your FMM card or your tourist visa? Right? Now, I was in the process of renewing mine in another state. That particular, how should I say, agency or school that I work for was so slow that I ended up having to make a border run, and I was able to show them the letter of employment to show them this is taking long, and in the meantime, my temporary residence card had expired. And I knew, even though that employee was saying, oh, don't worry, I told them, do you understand I could be deported? Do you understand that I would have to go back to the United States, right? So I took the responsibility of going to the border and, again, starting the 180-day process as a tourist, knowing that, you know what, maybe I'll move along, maybe I'll stay here, maybe I won't, right? But it is my responsibility to make sure that this does not expire. I can't tell them, oh, I'm in the process. That's not going to work. So make a long story short, this time around, I am hiring a lawyer. Where I am in La Paz, there is an immigration office. I've already spoken with a couple of people who live here, including my landlady, and she's kind of familiar with the process and has some people that are renting from her that are going through the process of getting their permanent residency and all of that. So I can talk with her, some of these other people that are in the process of doing what I am about to do, which is get my permanent residency, start that process. If I hire the lawyer knows what the process is, what the legal ramifications are, and will basically be able to tell me, you need this documentation, this letter, this form, here's where to sign, and then they'll take care of it for me because I'm still in the process of learning the language, right? Anytime you're traveling, period, whether it be within the country, on a bus, you should have proof because the buses are stopped at checkpoints. Those agents most of the time will ask you, do you have your passport? They just want to make sure that you are here legally. If you do have a tourist visa, it is your responsibility to make sure it does not expire. That is sacrosanct. It must be within that period. Now, the 180 days is no longer guaranteed. Because of the crackdown, because of so many, you can look, and I will leave at the end of this video a link or a card to show you that Mexico is hot for tourists right now. Mexico is the hot destination, especially for American expats, people who are looking to move, retire, relocate for whatever reason. Because of the influx and the drain on resources and areas becoming overpopulated by expats. Okay, I try to stay away from those areas. Where I am, this is a beautiful area, but people usually go to the touristy area of Cabo San Lucas. I'm in La Paz. People come here, but it's only for a certain amount of time, so it's not overly populated yet, but it's one of those tourist attractions, right? Because of the attraction to immigrants and the influx of people visiting, Mexico has started cracking down. So the laws have changed. So to wrap this up, make sure your documentation is on your person. Copies will no longer get it. Why? Because if you are stopped and you cannot prove this is who I am, and you can see that I have so many days until it expires, if you don't have that on you, the copies could be taken by anybody, right? So those agents that stop you have the right to take you to a detention center. You could be held for 30 to 60 days. Now, during this health scare, that would not be the best place. Well, nobody wants to be detained, period. But especially in an area that might be overpopulated, the sanitary conditions might not, just run the nightmare scenarios in your mind of what would happen if you are detained and you are held over for weeks on end while they are sorting it out, and looking for your originals and proving that you are who you say you are, whatever. Now, even if you are a resident, you need to have your card with you. You used to be able to, most residents have their card, like the little green card or whatever, that says that you are who you are and it shows your status. That must be on you. And if you have it, they can look at it. They still might take you in, but then they look at it, they can check, and then you can be on your way. If you are detained, again, it is not their priority to check and see that you are who you say you are. That could take up to 60 days. And that is now the legal protocol, right? So have your documentation. Once you get your documentation, check your dates, count on the calendar. If that runs out, people that they can see, like if you go back to the border and you want to get another 180 days, it is not guaranteed. They might decide, okay, now that you're in the computer and they're checking actively, why are you here? Okay, well, if you don't want to be deported, we're going to give you 10 days to take care of your status, or to become a resident, or move along. Pack it up, get out of here, right? So those are things to consider, that because of overpopulated areas now being overtaken by immigrants, Mexico is cracking down. And they're in the process of checking people that make too many border runs. They can look on your passport and see that you're just a serial tourist, right? Okay. If you're in the process of getting your residency, that's a different story. You're contributing to the economy. You're paying bills, electric, rent, what have you, right? It's good to have context too, like land people or landlords that can kind of help you with the process. A lawyer, right? But the main thing is that the 180 days is no longer guaranteed. The next border run you make and try to come back in, they might decide 30 days. And you were planning to stay longer. Or they might decide 10 days or leave. Okay? That is the new law. And yes, Mexico is cracking down. Thank you for joining me today on this informative coffee talk, and keep those in mind. I will entertain questions below. If you have been through the process recently of getting your residency anywhere in Mexico, please leave a comment below. If you have had a problem with your documentation, if you have been stopped by any immigration officer, leave a comment below, because your comments could help someone and save somebody unnecessary grief, right? I carry my documents at all time, and like I said, I'm in the process of hiring a lawyer to help me through the process before my current FMM card expires. Now, I'm doing this early so that I can be abreast of the procedures. Take it one day at a time. Don't stress. You're too blessed for that, right? One day at a time, and keep it simple and stay informed. And until next time, we'll see you later on Miles and Coffee. Thank you for joining me today, and please leave a comment below. Bye-bye.